Hi guys, this is Jiggy, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I created these specific images. So I was fortunate enough to have my assistant record one of my shoots during an actual wedding. It was just shot using my iPhone, so forgive the quality of the video, but it basically gives you guys an idea on how I create my images. Okay, so let's do this. So in the course of this video, I will be explaining how I lit it, the thought process that went through it, and basically the entire system on how we work together with the videographers, how we figure out where we're going to shoot, and all those little tips and tricks that you might be able to pick up if in any case that you want to get into wedding photography. So let's start. So, well, the basic premise here is that the moment I arrived in the reception venue, I already did my once-over. And when I do my once-over, it's basically looking at the existing ambient light, what type of ambient light I can control, like those Sharpies. I usually talk to the lights and sounds people and direct them where I want those specific lights to be. So this is already towards the tail end of the first layout, so here we go. So I usually start at center with converging lines just to draw everyone's attention to the subject. And I try to bring in the entire scene. And you'll notice here in this video that it was just a specific area that was really styled. So that's the one that I focused on. So at this moment, I had my Phottix Indra on the right side with a standard reflector and a grid. And I had another flash in the back. Okay, so yeah, this was very quick, and this is the output. This is the output of the image there. You'd see that there's a light from behind, and I have my light here on the right side focused specifically on them. That's why I had a grid on that so that I don't get any spill, and the light is focused on them, and I didn't want to overpower the blue lights that I had placed on the ceiling. Of course, we also had the smoke machine, the fog machine here. Though as much as I wanted it to be, I wanted more smoke. For some reason, I think the doors were open, so we couldn't really fill up the ballroom, so we had to do with what we had. Okay, so from this layout, we moved on now.
First
here.
Layout, we're gonna try to do a few more after this. We're just giving way to video first.
Okay, so usually the first layout is one of my signature photos, which is what you just saw. And then from there, I give way to video because, of course, you always have to work with video. For us, especially in the Philippines, we usually work with video. And when we do that, that gives me the opportunity to now go around and see what other angles that I can take pictures from. Such as in this case, while they were shooting video, I was walking around trying to see where else I can be shooting. And I think somewhere here, there, you could see this is the light that I had in the back. So the light on my right side was a Phottix Indra with a standard reflector and grid, and the one in the back is a Phottix Mitros with a Cerberus and a Padat light stand, just to give that nice rim light in the back. So while video was shooting, I was actually fixated on the lights in the back. But yes, this is essential. So I'm going to show. It's always nice to show the couple the actual output of the photos. It would be good to surprise them in the end when we do our photo slideshow, but at the same time, it gives them more motivation to shoot some more when they see the first output. And yeah, the guy was saying that it's time for him to sign a waiver again because the last time we shot, I made him sign a waiver so that Zeiss could actually use their images for their website or for some materials that they wanted to use it for. So just having some fun around while the video was shooting. There, you can see the output now straight out of camera. So now, after video shutter layout, I ask for my continuous light. The reason why I shoot sometimes with continuous light is so that my assistant photographers can shoot alongside me. Because if I'm shooting with flash primarily, my second and third photographers, who are usually on my left and on my right, with different lenses, can't shoot because I am shooting with flash. So they see things differently. So in that case, the images won't look very similar. So with this one, there, I had a continuous light. It's one of those flashlights that I was able to buy, I think, in the Ukraine. And I loved it so much. Unfortunately, there's an issue when it comes to reliability. I've broken like 3 or 4 of those already. And guys, if I know there's a Lowell GL1 or something like that, but I haven't really found a light very similar to this that gave me the light output and the strength that I wanted that is very reliable. So you can see it here. So now there. The thing that I noticed, I'll bring it back there. The thing that I noticed with this image is this one. Look at the way he was holding onto her hand. It didn't feel intimate enough. That's why I asked him to hold onto it properly, meaning not on the wrist, but over the back of her hand. There. So the output of this one is this one, yeah. So these are my filler images. I've already gotten the image that I really wanted, so I needed to have some filler images. Now, as I was saying, one photographer is on the left and another photographer is on the right. So you notice I was shooting at center. And these are the images that they were able to create from that scene that I post. Very nice, actually, very, very nice. So, and another rule of thumb is one photographer will always have a different lens from the other photographer so that they have a different perspective of what's going on. Usually one has a 70-200 and another one has an 85. Or a 50 maybe. Yeah. Very nice. See, look at this one. Beautiful, beautiful image. I really like this one. Sorry, so I was using an A7R Mark II with a 55 Zeiss Otus 1.4. It was a manual focus lens. And on the other lens, I had an A7R Mark III with an 18mm 2.8. Now, I'm sure you guys will be asking me for the EXIF data or the flash settings and all those things. To be honest, that is the least of my worries whenever I'm shooting. It's always going to be about positioning of the light and composition. When it comes to flash power, I usually go through it on the go, meaning I'll take a shot, look at it. If it's overexposed, then I'll just make my flash weaker. If it's underexposed, then I'll make my flash stronger. So I don't really keep track of how strong my flash was or what my settings were. My basis will always be what's in the back of my camera. Okay?
Okay, so we're going to do the entourage photo.
So now, while video is shooting again, I'm looking for a place where I can shoot the entire entourage or the group photos. The group photos here in the Philippines is a bit complicated because it usually entails about 20 people. So yeah, if you notice, I'll fast forward this video already just so you can see all the things that we have to go through just to be able to block them properly. So what I normally do is that I start off by putting some chairs for layering, so that I can create some triangles whenever I'm composing them. And then I would make a few ladies sit down and a few men sit down. So in this case, I had a few ladies sitting down already. And then I was posing one of the guys, giving him a very masculine pose. And then from there, I would part them up depending on their height and depending on their size and their height. So this is the output of about 10 minutes of having to block them properly. And I usually do this while video is shooting. So when video is shooting, I'm asking them, okay, how's your shot? Is it tight or wide? If it's tight and then I'm not going to be in the shot, it allows me now to prepare everything so that the moment the bride and groom are done with video, I can just bring them in, such as in this case. We were able to just put in the bride and groom specifically where I wanted them to be. And that's it. That's your entourage photo or group photos. So in this case, I had to take the grid out just to be able to illuminate everyone. Now, So here's a blocking triangle, triangle, triangle here, 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 triangle here. So it's always about blocking when it comes to group photos like this. Okay. So this is a formal photo. Okay, so I thought I was done. And it's a good thing, yeah, it's a good thing that both my assistant and the videographer needed a shot, because we always do the shot, but I completely forgot. There, see, that's a Phottix Indra. It's bounced off the ceiling there just to illuminate everyone. This is without a grid, just a standard reflector. And this is the final shot that we usually end with. On the count. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah. The first shot will always be the weakest, so it's afterwards that you have to encourage them to make it, to feel the moment more, or to give more, how do you say it, how pizzazz or more feeling into what they're doing. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3, go. There, so it becomes more dynamic. All right. Okay, so to recap, I had 3 lights with me and 2 cameras. The 2 cameras was an A7R Mark II with a 55 1.4 Otus and an A7 III with an 18mm 2.8 Zeiss Batis lens. I used 3 lights for all these shots. The first one was a Phottix Indra 500. The next one was a Phottix Mitros. The other one was a continuous light, and both Phottix flashes were controlled using the Phottix Odin 2. So this first image is couple portrait. I shot it again with a Phottix Indra on the right side with a standard reflector and grid, and a Phottix Mitros in the back with well, basically a bare Phottix Mitros in the back just to give the rim light. The next few shots were shot with continuous light, just one flashlight focused on them just to focus by light. My other 2 photographers were on the left and right, shooting the same scene from different angles to give different perspectives and different looks, as you can see. And lastly was the group shot, which I shot with a Phottix Indra alone, with a standard reflector, but without the grid, just bounced off the ceiling to be able to illuminate the entire group shot. Okay, so I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please do subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, click the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to see more of my images, feel free to do so. I'm on Instagram, it's at Jiggy Alejandrino. And let me know your comments with regards to this video. If you enjoyed it, if you want more, please do let me know and leave a comment below. Alright, till the next video.